Ask yourself this one question. What exactly is stopping you from approaching women? Maybe it's the way you look, your physique isn't the way it is. Maybe you haven't got a haircut yet. Maybe it's your clothes, your living situation. Think about it. And whatever answer pops in your head, just keep that in mind this whole entire video. You see, a lot of us, whenever we think about approaching women, the concept of it of, yeah, okay, I'm gonna talk to some girls and I'm gonna socialize more. I feel like I'm in a more social season of my life. It is good. You start, thinking about exactly like the version of you that is a confident, charismatic, and that is actually, talking to people, that's captivating, that isn't bound by any type of insecurities. But then ultimately, when it's time to actually take action, when we're going outside, when we tell our friends, hey, let's go to this one place, when you make commitments to yourself, then that is when it really exposes what you think you haven't, achieved yet, what you need to get done. Once again, the answers that I said in the beginning of the video to keep in mind, this is where it comes into play. Think about it. Oh man, my physique isn't where it's at, or I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to get this done before this, and because and then you do all these different loops and leaps and bounds to try to rationalize. Well, if I don't have my physique right, then this one person here is gonna get, like you start thinking about that. And truth be told, I don't blame. Heck, I would be lying if I said that I still don't deal with this. I'm still in the same boat in some senses of it. My physique is not where I want it to be at whatsoever. I sure my fashion, I know on this channel I wear like I think I haven't worn any other color but blue, but this is kind of what my outfits are really going to contain of. It's just like, a plain black shirt, some sweatpants, and some Converse. Like it's pretty simple. But then, okay, let's say I do get the clothes. Let's say I do get the physique. Let's say I do get all these things. What is going to be the next thing? Is when I get those things, am I really going to be ready? No, I'm not going to be ready. I'm still going to find another thing to delay. I'm going to find another excuse. Well, because I'm, about to be in my mid 20s, I got to have my own place. So, once I get my own place, then I'm going to start talking to girls more. Matter of fact, once I quit this porn addiction, then I'm going to quit this. Or rather, then I'm going to start talking to girls. You start creating more and more of these different reasonings. And the reason why, ultimately, the reason why we do this is because deep down we are anxious. We don't feel confident in ourselves. We don't feel like we can actually, talk to girls the way that we are now because we view, at least, the way that I view it, is that I kind of look at it as I'm here. I'm very little in terms of like what I have right now, and that the women that I'm going to be talking to are going to be up here, which is funny because ultimately when you really kind of break it down, especially the younger that you are, you kind of notice how foolish that is to think. I used to have this like thought when I was like 18, 19. Okay, well, my physique isn't right, and I need to quit my corn addiction and just all these different things. I listed up I listed, like, I literally created a list of every single thing that I needed to get done before I can start even talking to girls, let alone the thought of getting a girlfriend or doing whatever I wanted with girls. Hey, yo, that sounds kind of, but just, you get what I mean. But ultimately, when I would actually go to try to work on those things, I wouldn't have the motivation. I would simply drop off. The first few days, I start working on it, but then after a while, I drop off. I start slacking on the workouts. I don't actually apply myself and say, you know what, let me get better clothes. I don't stop watching corn. And the reason is because ultimately, I have so much fear and anxiety when it comes to that I'm blocking myself from doing it. So even though I'm working on what I need to work on, subconsciously deep down there's so much resistance that I end up just dropping off because I don't want the actual, like, I don't feel like I'm ready. It's not about the clothes, it's not about the physique, but it's more so about your mindset. And once again, it's talking about how if you're younger, imagine, like I said, I was 18, 19 thinking this, bro, there's 18, 19-year-old girls that are in the same situation, who don't have their life figured out, who don't have this amount of money, who don't have their own place, let alone maybe they're even their own car. There's other people in the same situation. So a lot of the times we kind of view it almost as like we're here and girls are up here, like they just have it together, or maybe they're just, so much more beautiful, maybe they have so many more options. Other guys, who am I compared to this guy right here? However you might slice it up or however you might view it, ultimately, to some degree, we overvalue women's perspective and their opinion over ours. When the reality of the situation is that everybody has problems. Women have problems. And this is a video that I'm going to be talking about later. I'm going to upload this later this week about a video talking about this, because this is ultimately something that completely changed my paradigm at work about women. But nevertheless, women are people as well. Women, crap and have problems and make bad decisions and don't have their life together as well. And you know this. We've probably seen a homeless woman walking down the street, yet because she's not attractive, because we don't find her attractive, we just kind of like exclude her and like, okay, well, this is a woman that's, doesn't have her life together. But you don't look at it as like, oh man, like that's actually a woman who doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, versus if you go look at your crush, for example, maybe at work or at school, you might think that this person has everything together and that they're basically the pinnacle of success, beauty, or whatever it might be. And ultimately, when you when you put your oh my god, I'm spitting everywhere. I'm stuttering and spitting everywhere. Let me reset. Whenever you realize that this mindset that we're in is holding us back, you realize how much time you've wasted over the years. Look, I've had this mindset since 2020, and I'm just now starting to break out of it. I'm just now starting to say, you know what? Let me put myself out there regardless of how I am right now. Sure, I had 5 years to prep, so to speak, but I didn't do anything in those 5 years. I did not do anything. Sure, I did some self improvement on and off, but it wasn't anything substantial. And I believe that the reason why I couldn't do or I didn't make that much progress was ultimately because I put this barrier between essentially me having to improve my life, or else I'm not going to talk to women. It became this or else. If I don't do what I need to do, then I'm never going to talk to women. I'm never going to get a girlfriend. I'm never going to do all these different adventures and go on dates and have fun with women. When the reality of the situation is that when I actually allow myself to think of a world where I can talk to women, but also do what I need to do and focus on myself at the same time, you make more progress when you actually do that versus just saying, like, putting these stipulations behind women. That's ultimately just what it is. You're putting stipulations in between you and women. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And sure, yeah, there probably is, a girl that you're thinking of that probably has, a guy in her DMs that has more stuff than you. Or maybe there's a guy that's a bit stronger than you, has more money, has doing this, all boom, boom, this and that. But ultimately, especially if you're in a position right now similar to me where we just have to simply try, when you put yourself out there and ultimately just allow yourself to enjoy it, especially if you put yourself in situations and environments that you genuinely love, then the energy, the confidence that you have in yourself is gonna be contagious, and women are gonna love it. I'm starting to realize that now, because it's like, bro, there is guys, I will never forget. I was in college a few years back and we had to do this assignment. And this assignment required us to meet up in person. So I was talking to this guy, this classmate that I just randomly picked. And he was actually pretty cool. We actually talked past the class and whatnot, and we would just, talk on the phone for an hour. He talked about how he had a girl and whatnot, and, he told me about his relationship, and, we just chatting stuff as guys. And ultimately, during this time, I believe that because I was, skinny, and I'm still skinny, but, because I'm skinny, I can't talk to no girls, or like no girls are going to like me because I'm skinny. And as I was listening to him telling about his story, it motivated me. It motivated me to actually go to the gym and take it more seriously. It still came from a bad place, but nevertheless, I had more motivation. And then the moment that we met up in person, that is when everything changed. I met up with him. I remember I got out of my house. He picked me up. As I went in his car, mind you, this guy, and this is no diss whatsoever, but this is to show like what it is. 5'2". Now, mind you, during this time, I'm probably like 5'7" during this time. So I'm like 5'7". He is 5'2". We get out the car, I am like looking down at bro. I'm skinny. I'm skinny. He is really skinny. He is really skinny. Like, my thighs are pretty skinny, but his was like he was wearing jeans and it looked like it was like about 5 sizes bigger. It looked like it was 5 sizes bigger. His hands, my hands are pretty, they're pretty bony, pretty skinny, you could tell. But his were like so skinny. Like I said, it's no diss towards him. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, he has a girlfriend? He has a girlfriend? He's talking to girl. Hey, now, Hey, I hope you're not watching this. Hope his girl's not watching this. But you know, in class, he shot his shot at one girl in class, like over a Zoom meeting. He was like, "Yo, let me get your Instagram." Oh, for sure. Boom, boom, boom. Now, you feel me? So he's over here shooting a shot. He's over here talking to women. He has a girlfriend, being this skinny and this short. What, like, when I saw that, I could no longer say that if I, because I'm skinny, I cannot talk to no girls. After seeing that, I couldn't say that no more. It'd be like my limiting beliefs broke. And the more that you look at that, the more that you allow yourself to say, you know what, I am going to talk to women the way I am now. We're still going to improve ourselves, but ultimately, I'm still going to talk to women. Now you're going to start seeing examples of how you're gonna start seeing examples of how all these limiting beliefs that you had, the things that you said, well, I'm too overweight, I'm too skinny, I'm this, I'm that. You're gonna see all those getting broken when you see other guys approaching the one girl in a Rick and Morty shirt. You might see a guy approach a girl in a Rick and Morty shirt and some and one shorts, but because he's confident, he's feeling himself, he's in an environment, he ends up getting the number. She ends up being reciprocating the energy and whatnot. And you might be sitting there all dressed up, buttoned down, and all professional, or just, you know, very, you know, you might have like really looked into this, and you're over here in the corner just like, oh, this freaking loser. Well, while he's over here talking to the girl. Or like you see like the fat guy, like, you know, getting all the girls. Like you see the one little fat white boy that's getting all the girls, and versus the guy who's like very lean, but he's not doing anything about it. Ultimately, like I said, it's not that we can't improve ourselves. We should continuously improve ourselves, but we should also talk to women as well in the process. And that is what I'm going to do. Like I said, this Saturday, upcoming Saturday, I do have a book club meeting that I'm going to go to. Even though I'm, you know, not ready, drip wise, you know, I don't barely have any drip, guys. I'm gonna be real. My outfits are very, very trash. Very basic, very trash. I love basic, but they're very trash. Even though I'm not ready, I don't care. I'm gonna say, you know what? I don't have the best drip, but I'm still gonna talk to girls. I'm still gonna approach. I'm still gonna talk to people. So living like that, I'm realizing will ultimately provide the best results. And yeah. So that is today's video. I'm not gonna lie, I'm freaking sweaty right now, but I'm actually thinking about going out maybe tonight. Maybe I might find something to do tonight. I don't know, just something that actually genuinely interests me. Who knows? But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you found value out of it, bro. I will see you in the next one. Peace.